The chemistry behind sunscreen. How does it work? By me. To begin, it is a hot sunny day in the summer, and you're out boogie boarding or doing whatever with your friends. When you get back home, you feel a sting on your back. You turn around and see a big red mark that hurts like crazy. Well, no need to guess what this is. We've all been there before. You just got a sunburn. But how does it work? Sunburns are caused by UV rays from the sun. There are three types of this: UVA, UVB, and UVC. Luckily, our Earth's ozone layers protect us from most of these rays, but some manage to slip through this layer. These are the UVA and UVB rays. UVA rays cause the skin to wrinkle, while UVB causes most sunburns. When these rays hit our skin, they don't give us thermal burns like we think. They give us radiation burns. When this happens, the cells in our bodies create enzymes and proteins. The proteins try to repair the damage from the sun, causing the blood vessels to dilate to increase the amount of blood flow. From this, immune cells can reach the skin and prevent skin cancer. This causes the redness that comes with sunburn. But how can we prevent a sunburn? We can prevent it by sunscreen. There are actually two main types of sunscreen: organic and inorganic. Organic sunscreen is a chemical sunscreen that is carbon based. Basically, they're what I call the absorbers. They're absorbed into the skin and absorb the radiation in the sun and release it as lower forms of light. Inorganic sunscreens, also known as mineral sunscreens, are the physical blockers. They sit on top of the skin, like armor, and reflect UV away from the body, like a mirror, instead of releasing it into a different form, like the organic sunscreens. As I mentioned before, organic sunscreen has carbon-hydrogen bonds such as oxybenzone and avobenzone, but they can also contain nitrogen, octocrylene, and sulfur, mixoryl XX. Either way, what this does chemically is similar to our flame tests. When UV from the sun, the purple arrow, hits the sunscreen molecule, it gets excited. But it cannot stay like this for long, so it goes back down. When it does, it releases energy in the form of harmless, or to be more exact, weaker light, and goes back to the ground state. It does this multiple times, releasing energy and protecting your skin from the UV rays of the sun. But what about inorganic sunscreen? Inorganic sunscreens are either made up of zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Unlike organic sunscreens, they aren't carbon based, meaning they are more physical and less chemical. Like I said before, they are like armor on your skin. As you can see in this zinc oxide structure, the electrons are close together, so the electrons interact and create these structures known as band gap structures. Instead of a fixed ground state and a fixed excited state, you have a low energy band made up of lots of levels and a high energy band made up of lots of levels. So the same process happens just with bands instead of fixed states. As you can see here, there are many electrons doing very different types of the same process. Some lines, as you see here, are shorter than others, but in between the two bands is the longest wavelength that can be physically absorbed. Anything shorter than this wavelength can be absorbed as well in this band gap structure. But this is only about 95% of how this sunscreen works. The other 5% is known as scattering, which I will not get into due to time. But which sunscreen is better? To be honest, each type has their own pros and cons. For organic sunscreen, the pros that they are leave no white cast, which is a layer of whiteness. Less product is needed for protection and it is easier to apply. The cons, however, that it requires time to be effective. It can cause rashes and burn skin, which I experienced, and it can clog your pores. Inorganic is the one I use. It fully blocks UVA and UVB rays. They have immediate protection and they won't clog your pores. However, they leave white cast. They can be easily rubbed off skin, and if it's sprayed, it can't get inhaled because it's extremely toxic. And that's it. And here are my sources. So I have a YouTube playlist and I have a bunch of other things that I used. And the images are from Bing and Amazon, and the stuff on slides 4 and 5 I drew on Clicky. So